Yes. Okay.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. It's my honor to be here and give you some overview of commercial bank's activity. As far as I know, this topic haven't mentioned before, right? So now today I want to give some brief overview of what kind of activity the commercial bank do. So first of all, let's took this slide. I will now talk about the financial system in general, and then we'll find out where are commercial bank located in financial system. As you see on the slide, we have two types of financial system. That is direct finance, as you can see here, and indirect finance. So direct finance means that the surplus entity and the deficit entity can meet each other, and they can also buy or sell stock through financial markets. But first, I think I will explain briefly about what kind of surplus and deficit entity. So surplus entity and deficit entity both include household, businesses, governments, and foreigners. But surplus entity are those who their income exceed their expenditure. So they have the surplus fund which can be saved or invested. In the contrary, deficit entity are those whose their expenditure exceed their income. So they are lack of money, and so they have to borrow or issuing stock through financial market. So in direct finance, both surplus and deficit can meet each other and sell or buy financial asset like stock or bond through financial market. On the other hand, we have indirect finance. Indirect finance means that surplus entity and deficit entity can't meet each other, and everything they have to do through financial intermediaries. So they don't know each other, and the only institution happen to help them is financial intermediary. So after this slide, can you guess where commercial bank? Commercial bank is financial market or financial intermediaries. I get that you can choose the right answer. Commercial bank is one of the financial intermediaries. And according to Vietnam law, commercial bank is defined that bank shall means a credit institution permitted to conduct all banking activities and other related business operation. And in short, banking activity shall mean monetary business activities and banking services with regular operations as accepting deposit and using them to provide credit and payment services. Because I translate the definition from the Vietnam law, so I think it's maybe quite complicated for you. But in short, you just understand it's easily that commercial bank is a credit institution. Is a credit institution, and they accept deposit and use deposit to provide credit and payment services. And in addition, the commercial bank can do other related business operation to make profit. Is it easier to understand about the commercial bank? So I will make it again. Commercial bank is the credit institution who's accept deposit and using them to provide credit and payment services. They also do other related business operation for making profit. And now I show you a picture to explain how a commercial bank can make profit. Of course, it's a very simple example about the activity of commercial bank. But I think that through picture, you can understand more clearly about how commercial bank can make profit. So let's take a look here. $1 is the interest the bank pay out to depositor. For example, if you give your money, you send your money to the bank, you will get back with some amount of interest, right? So in this case, $1 is the interest the bank paid for the depositor, and $4 is the interest rate the bank charges on loan. For example, if you want to borrow money from the bank, you have to pay both principal and interest. And in that case, $4 is the interest rate. So $4 minus $1 is equal $3. This amount the bank keep is the difference between the interest when the bank make a loan and when bank accept deposit. And $3 is the profit the bank can make. And you just imagine that bank get many deposit and also they make many loans. So the difference is become more and more bigger. And through this picture, you can see clearly about how the commercial bank can make a profit in a very simple way. And now I went back to some main activity of commercial bank, as I mentioned in the definition above. First of all, deposit. The deposit is the money the customer sends to the bank. And there are two types of deposit. That is transaction deposit and non-transaction deposit. Let me talk about transaction deposit first. It is simple. The deposit which customer use for transaction. Deposit used for transaction. For example, if you open an account at the bank and you have to send your money into this account, and then you can use that money to pay the bill or to transfer online, or you can do many things with this deposit. In many cases, the commercial bank, they don't pay the interest rates for this kind of deposit because this deposit is fluctuate every day, and the customer use for transactions, so it's not stable, and the bank can use it as the plan. So most of banks don't pay interest for this kind of deposit. So in contrast, non-transaction deposit it includes passbook saving account or term account. This kind of deposit will be paid interest rate by the commercial bank. For example, if you have a amount of money but you don't have the plan to use it in a short time, and so you send to the bank and you get a saving account, and according to the term you choose, the interest rate, you will have the corresponding interest rate. And the longer the term, the higher the interest rate is. So if you don't want to use your money right now, let's give them to the bank and get the interest rate. That's kind of deposit, transaction, and non-transaction deposit. So it kind of deposit is used based on your demand. If you want to transact, you choose transaction deposit. But if you want to save your money and get a bigger profit later, you choose non-transaction deposit. Another main activity of commercial bank is lending. In fact, lending occupies the most profit of commercial bank. Lending is the activity that that the bank lend your money to the customer. And there are some types of lending, such as retail lending and corporate lending. Retail lending is a loan to an individual or household to pay for their consumption, living expenses, or their family business. You can understand it in an easier way. Retail lending is a loan the bank gives to individual or household for buying a house, buying car, even buying laptop or paying the school fee, sometimes something like that. And corporate lending is a loan the commercial bank provide to company, to business, to SME, small and medium enterprises. So it really different between two kinds of lending, retail lending and corporate lending. But there are this main lending activity of Commercial Bank. And besides deposit and lending, I also want to say something about other bank services. In fact, there are too many kind of bank services, but I think that I will choose three main types of banking services. That is payment, electronic banking, and bank assurance to introduce to you. So first of all, payment services. Payment services include domestic and international payment services. And in domestic payment services, you can see in the slide, on the slide, we have money transfer by account. Do you remember the example I said before? Especially in pandemic, we have to shop online, and we don't want to use cash before the risk it can bring to us, right? So you can use your account in your Commercial Bank, and you can transfer your money to anyone, to anywhere. So it's really convenient for us in pandemic, money transfer by account. Another kind of domestic payment service is cash deposit and withdrawal. In other words, it means that you can put in or get out your money to payment services. Another kind is domestic card. I see that many teenagers now, not adult, they have their own card, ATM card. And we also have debit card and credit card is domestic card. And another kind of domestic payment service is to bill payment, is bill payment. And if you want to pay for the internet bill or the internet bill or TV card bill or something like that, you can use domestic payment services. And also you can use this to book the hotel or to order foreign categories. Yeah, that's domestic payment services. And in addition, we have international payment services. This payment services always happen between importer and exporter, and it's quite complicated. So maybe I am not mention it more. And another kind of bank services is e-banking, electronic banking. Some e-banking services include traditional remote banking services, as I said before, ATM and telephone banking, or online PC banking, internet banking services. I think that nowadays we are almost familiar with this kind of banking services. And for example, my students, all of them have e-banking through their phone, through their PC. Yeah, it's really convenient for us. And it also have mobile, and e-banking also include mobile banking, as I said. And the last one in banking services, last but not least, is bank assurance. Do you know this type of bank services? Bank assurance. Bank assurance is an arrangement between a bank and an insurance company, allowing the insurance company to sell a product to the bank's client base. And it means that the bank will associate with an insurance company. For example, in my case, Techcombank associate with Manulife, a very famous insurance company, and they can give the Techcombank's customer the insurance the insurance products. Yeah, that's bank assurance. It's the relation between the bank and an insurance company. And this partnership arrangement can be profitable for both company, for both bank and insurance company. For bank, they can have more profit to selling insurance contract. And for the insurance company, they can take advantage of the Commercial Bank's client and to sell their product. Yeah, that's some kind of bank services. In fact, I want to say more thing, but I think that the time is so limited, so I have to choose some main activity of Commercial Bank. And after this presentation, I hope that you can have some idea about Commercial Bank, and I hope that it is interesting for you. Thank you for listening.